1 a lap down. Sterling coming through. Ricky Rudd moving in. And here comes Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte in 9th. His brother Terry right behind him. Bill Elliott 8th. Ricky Rudd now 7th. Struggle up in front. Martin gets the lap back one more time. He must feel like a squirrel on the end of a limb. He gets out there time after time, then somebody shakes him off.
Ken, this is a time when somebody can start making a quick shift on that thing. There's Earnhardt going under Rusty Wallace. That's for 2nd place. Earnhardt's got the inside over this tunnel area right here. But what I was fixing to say, that we've got that shift in that thing. They can run that front straightaway a lot further, pull it in 4th gear a lot quicker, and save some fuel. Some of these guys are going to start thinking about fuel mileage before they get far into this run on the green.
Ford, Chevy, Pontiac. 1, 2, 3. With 167 laps complete this time. There's the Ford of Mark Martin trying to stay up in front, and now Brett Bodine trying to set him down a peg. And that 190-mile-per-hour monster snake comes down the main straightaway into turn 1.
Guys, if you don't think this is a total team effort to win a race, you got another thing coming. Dale Jarrett had to pit twice under that caution on lap 162 and 163. Jimmy Makar said they needed to get gas on 163 to make the distance. After leading all this way, it comes down to fuel mileage for him, and he's got a long way to go to catch the front.
He's 5 6/10 of a second back is Dale Jarrett at this point, trying to work his way back through the field.
I'd say that's figured pretty close. These cars get between 4 and 5 miles to gallon, and that one lap is about a pint of fuel, and they knew they needed it.
Dale Jarrett right behind Cope in 12th, now right in front of him. Takes the spot away. It's Dale Jarrett up to 11th, Cope to 12th, and Cope falling back. No, holds it. Stays right there in front of Michael Waltrip in 13th position. Going 14th is Jeff Bodine in the main straightaway. Once again, it's a full-scale assault, and they peel off down here into turn number 1.
I tell you, we've seen them all day long diving at corner 2 and 3 abreast, and they've more passing today. And look at how wide they are coming. There's been more cars run inside and outside than I've ever seen on this racetrack in one day.
Coming up to complete 169 this time. Look at this battle for 3rd spot. There you see Rusty Wallace. He has it. Morgan Shepherd and the Wood Brothers, number 21, trying to take it away. Penske Racing versus the Wood Brothers of Stewart, Virginia in this battle.
See the whole pack of cars closing in. That's your whole lead group. Look at Bodine in the green car, moving the inside to follow the 6 of Mark Martin, trying to get a little help from Mark Martin down that straightaway.
Brett Bodine moves out, throws the block on Earnhardt as they come back into turn number 1. It's now a battle for the lead. Mark Martin up there on the tail end of that lead lap. Then the green car, Brett Bodine, followed by Earnhardt in the number 3. He's in 2nd spot. Wallace is in 3rd. Morgan Shepherd in 4th. Ken Schrader in 5th. 30 laps to go when they come by.
Dick Berger's got another report on Earnhardt. It's a different story. What is it, Dick?
Well, there's a lot of conversation going on back at 4th gear, Neil. We're listening to a conversation between the crew chief and driver, and what they're basically saying is we cannot make it on fuel, but they don't think the 26 can either. I asked the 2 car, can they make it on fuel? Buddy Parrott, crew chief, said, hey, what do you want me to do, lie to you? So I'm not so sure anymore that these guys are all going to make it on fuel. It's a cat and mouse game. They all listen to each other on these radios. So what they're saying may be a matter of trying to bluff the other teams, or maybe a matter of truth.
Dick, I tell you what, probably the best thing to do is us just turn those radios off and watch, because right now I think they might tell a little bitty fib.
Brett Bodine, who hasn't won a race since North Wilkesboro in that controversial finish in 1990, leading at the present time, his best finish here, 8th 2 years ago. And he has the Kenny Bernstein Quaker State colors up in front. There you see him, just barely leading. Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, line 3rd, Morgan Shepherd in 4th, Schrader 5th, Sterling Marlin is 6th, Bill Elliott 7th, Ricky Rudd is in 8th, Bobby Labonte 9th, and Harry Gant in 10th. And Dale Jarrett picks up another one. He's into 11th.
Yeah, Jarrett's really been moving back there. He made that extra stop, one more lap, and Tom got him behind. Here's the 26 car leading right here with Brett Bodine. Earnhardt directly behind him in the 2 of Rusty Wallace.
Back in the main straightaway, completing 171 laps. as Brett Bodine continues to muscle at Bernstein Ford. Now here comes Earnhardt to the inside, and again Bodine is there. Bernstein, the 26th car. What a victory this could be for them if Brett Bodine can hold on. The Kenny Bernstein team has gone back to basics, and this Brett Bodine, the driver, he's thrilled about.
I think that seat of the pants guys have a place, and they'll always have a place in Winston Cup racing because they're the realists. The technological people, the engineers, they're the dreamers, and somewhere we have to meet with the same idea and head in the same direction.
Well, here he is. Brett Bodine has a lot of great memories on this track from his modified racing experience, trying to hold off the master. Earnhardt going for his 6th Winston Cup championship. The crowd is up and cheering as this great battle continues among these top drivers. What a performance they are putting on today. Martin draws away 4 or 5 car lengths. There's Earnhardt trying the outside again, Neil.
Well, I think he gets that outside line. This is where he's been good through this tunnels, where he's made a lot of passes. He'll lay way out by the wall. That enables him to cut right across the bottom. Right here's where he's done a lot of his passing in his tunnel turn. And he uses that outside line, wide swing in there, and lets him cut that corner off a little sharper. That's where he's been strongest through that tunnel.
Over the years, young Brett Bodine, he's 34 now. Raced for Rick Hendrick, for Haas Ellington, Junior Johnson, Bud Moore. Now in his 4th year with Kenny Bernstein. Wallace gets into the picture seriously now. Back to the outside. Earnhardt sneaks a peek. Drops back in. Morgan Shepherd lying 4th. At 5th position, Ken Schrader taking a look at those Napa standings back through the field. Just joining us this afternoon, Ken Schrader set on the pole. Bill Elliott was outside. Schrader's made a great race of it today, but it was Earnhardt and Dale Jarrett riding the big story. Ernie Irvin led for some time. He's had trouble and retired from the race. In fact, there have been a total of 22 retirees. The engine's getting eaten up here on this 2.5-mile track at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Next week, the Winston Cup Series moves on to Talladega, Alabama, and the 500 there, the Die-Hard 500. Look at this move being made right now. To the inside comes Schrader. Schrader closing in, trying to knock off Morgan Shepherd, and I think he's going to get him right here. For 4th spot, give it to Ken Schrader out of Fenton, Missouri. And down in the grass and out of the race now is Derek Cope, who was having such a good day with the Cale Yarborough car. He was in that lead lap, had run up in the top 10. Latest report had him in 16th, and now he has pulled it off, and there is no caution for that. He is well off the track.
He's far enough off again, there's not going to be a caution. And I think some of these teams would have liked to see that caution and get this question mark on fuel mileage out of the way and just go racing, but looks like we're going green still. Caution is out, Ken.
Caution is coming out. You were absolutely right at 174. Gee, what a shootout we're going to have here. Caution is out.
The big key there, the 6 car got his lap back. He's fought all day long, and now Mark Martin he did it the hard way. He earned it. He's fought everybody on that racetrack, and he's back in the lead lap now.
Diane Bodine, head in her hands, watching out here as Brett fights for it. Now the matter is who's going to take the gamble, who's going to do the most work on their cars. This is going to put Jarrett back in the picture. It's going to put Mark Martin back in the picture. What a dramatic finish we're building for at Pocono today, Neil Bonnet. Brett's wife, you're mentioning, there's Diane. Daughter Heidi, I'm sure, is here as well. Brett right on the edge of a major victory on a super speedway. This would be his first. You can see him scooping some air into the car here on that Bernstein car. But it's a whole new race when the green falls this time.
Let me tell you, the race is going to be pit road. I'd hate to be a crew chief right now. We know how much new tires help these guys. We know how important track positioning is. Do you come in and top it off with fuel? Do you come in and put 4 tires on where you can go fast? Do you trade the tires for track position? That's going to be the big question right now.
So Brett Bodine stays first, Earnhardt second, Rusty Wallace third, Schrader fourth, Morgan Shepherd fifth, Sterling Marlin sixth, Elliott seventh. We go to commercial now. Bonnet's going to come down there with his baseball bat.
Yeah, they better not go with the truck.
So let's see what's going to happen as they come down toward pit road.
Well, I promise you they're coming. The question is, what are they going to do when they get there?
What would you do if it was Talladega next week?
Well,
You were
track
back
was
there in the last of that, 16th or 17th. You put the rubber on, wouldn't you?
Well, if you're way back in the pack, you need to.
Yep.
If you're one of the lead guys, you got to question, hey, do I put them on or what do I do?
Leaders are all in. Dick Berggren is down there for car number 2. Randy Pemberton standing by with car number 26 as they come in. 2 has come to a stop. Let's go there quickly.
Last week, his crew did a lightning-fast pit stop at the tail end, and it helped very much when Rusty Wallace was on his way to victory at New Hampshire. This is the same car, the same crew. So far, it's a perfectly executed pit stop. 4 tires. Everybody's doing the same thing. Full load of fuel. They're clapping on the side of the pit. Randy Pemberton.
Well, they're going to take some wedge out of Brett Bodine's car. They're going to loosen that thing up. They did. They've got it so full of fuel, you could put another drop in. This team absolutely exploded when that caution came out. They were not going to make it.
One reason they're celebrating is they won the drag race down pit road. They're leading the race right now.
There you see Rusty Wallace. And again, that work that Penske people have been doing on pit stops seems to be paying off. Tires, who went with them? Let's take a look here. Car number 2, Rusty Wallace got tires. Brett Bodine, Dale Earnhardt collected some tires while he was on pit road. Looking further back in the field, we'll take a quick commercial break right now to get back to follow this action. They're all off pit road, and then we'll come back with more of this story. Stay with us here at Pocono.
2 hours is all it takes to discover the world. Watch National Geographic Explorer every Sunday night at 9 Eastern, exclusively on TBS.
We're watching driver Hut Strickland test the McDonald's car. Hey guys, what keeps Hut going?
McDonald's coffee, Jack. Hut loves the stuff.
McDonald's coffee, really?
Yep. Hut loves those sausage biscuits, too. What? He says they're only 79 cents.
Hey, he's pulling off.
Yeah, he's out of coffee.
What you want is what you
You want a sausage biscuit or anything?
at McDonald's today. Anytime, any place, go fish. Anyone, any taste, go fish. Any day, any night, any size appetite. One place does it right. Go fish.
At Long John's, get what you want any way you want it. From combo platters to baked meals, from value packs to $1.99 specials.
You can get your wish anytime. Go fish. Long John Silver's.
Go for one of our 3 great $1.99 specials. And don't forget to add a piece.
Diamond Crystal knows there's nothing like pure, clear water. That's why Diamond Crystal makes some of the most advanced water softener salts you can buy. Make your water special with Diamond Crystal.
Back at Pocono International Raceway, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Less than 25 laps to go and a great shootout taking shape here at the Miller Genuine Draft 500. Rusty Wallace first off pit lane. We'll see if he can hang on and make it 2 in a row. We want to send out some special thanks to the folks at KME Fire Equipment here. They're helping us with some beautiful camera work today. They've allowed us to put one of our TBS Sports cameras on the end of one of their high ladder trucks today, helping us provide some of the wonderful pictures you're enjoying today from Pocono.
Packed house. Biggest crowd ever here. Let's get some quick pit reports. Go to Dick Berggren first on those last stops.
Well, it's all smiles down here in Rusty Wallace pit, although they're puffing a little bit. Buddy Parrott, you guys did your job. How about Rusty? Can he hang on?
Well, first of all, let me explain to Roger Penske that we couldn't run but 35 and a half, 36 laps on the fuel, and that's the reason we didn't pit. I know he's jumping up and down, but anyway, we got a caution now, and you better believe Rusty's going to do everything he can. You know, our car's it hasn't been exactly right all day, you know, but the guys in the pits, I tell you, this Penske racing bunch, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable what they just did, and I know everybody on pit road respects them, and I see the grandstand, everybody's screaming and hollering, so that's what it's all about.
What they did was a stop in 19 1/10 of a second. Earnhardt 19.2, and the 26 car had a stop at 21.2. Let's go to Randy Pembroke.
Donnie Richardson, you guys exploded in jubilation when that caution came out. I take it was close whether you could make it or not?
There was no question. We weren't going to make it. That's why we never pitted a while ago. Anyway you wanted to cut the pie, we were 4 laps short, so we had to just roll the dice, stay out, and hope this caution come around. So this is really what we needed, and this run's a shot in the arm for us today, and we needed this, and hopefully we can just pull this off and end up victory lane down there.
You loosened him up just a bit, so it's all his now, huh?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said the car's been pretty good all day. He just said, I need just a little bit. I got to go now, so just give me a little bit more. So we gave it to him. Now we'll just have to see how it plays out.
As it plays out in those pit stops, Dale Jarrett was in at 20.4. Again, Brett Bodine had a 21.2. 19.1 was that amazing stop by the Wallace team, and as they line up on this restart, and there will be 179 laps complete when they take green. It'll be Rusty Wallace first, Dale Earnhardt is in second, Brett Bodine is in third, Schrader fourth, Elliott fifth, Shepard sixth, Marlin seventh, Rudd eighth, Gant ninth, Michael Waltrip is 10th, Dale Jarrett is 11th, Waltrip rides in 12th, Darrell. Then in 13th is Jeff Bodine, 14th is Bobby Labonte, and 15th is Terry Labonte as we come down. Mark Martin shows 16th as they get ready to come to the line. Mark Martin on that lead lap will want to follow him some. There you see Marcus on the inside. There you see Wallace on the outside. Lap cars down low as we get ready to decide this. What a race this is going to be for the finish. A lot at stake here. Earnhardt right up there in second. There comes the flag. We're ready to go racing at Pocono. The Miller Genuine Draft 500 down for a decision as they stack them wide going for turn one.
See Darrell Waltrip way to the inside, back in the pack. There's Rusty and Earnhardt diving off in that first turn. Got a little bit of a break. That's what they want. They want to get away from this pack and settle between those two cars, but I doubt seriously two can get away from this group.
Back straight away on the sort out, going for his second win in a row. Rusty Wallace in first, Earnhardt in second. Here comes Mark Martin charging. Remember, he's tried all day to make the lap up. He's under Terry Labonte, working his way through the field. Comes car number 6.
Outside, now he's going to dive inside. He got to the outside of one of those cars. He's in some heavy traffic right there. He's having to wait for the traffic to clear. He'd like to go on, but he's going to let this traffic clear. He's going to make a run, probably wait until he get up there and then go totally inside, 3 wide right here.
There's what he's going to do right there. He's down to the bottom under Rick Wilson. He's got Jeff Bodine on the outside. They pull away from him for a moment. He fades to the outside. 3 wide, 4 wide in the main straightaway.
Look at Dale Jarrett coming up there. His car has really been strong all day long. Don't move Jarrett out to get back in the middle of this.
4.6 seconds between the leader and 16th position with 20 laps to go. There he goes, looking into the inside, just riding in the catbird seat for a moment was Mark Martin. Meanwhile, number 18, Jarrett knocks on the door. Michael Waltrip in 10th position. What a battle.
Jarrett's car is quick. You get caught back in that kind of traffic there, you have to roll out throttle. Here's Earnhardt putting a lot of heat on Rusty up front.
For the lead, coming around to complete 181. Brett Bodine pulls down to the inside. 100,000 people on their feet and cheering as they come down the main straightaway. Earnhardt to the inside. Wallace stays in first. Brett Bodine right there. Schrader fourth. And look at Bill Elliott. Started outside of the front row, back to 5th. The pole sitter back there in 4th.
Rusty gets a good run off that corner. That's the best thing he's got going for him because we've seen Earnhardt really strong over this tunnel all day. If Rusty can match him over the tunnel, it's going to be hard for him to pass him. Right here, Earnhardt usually can go across here and pull right up on people coming off that corner. There he comes, getting a run at Rusty. That sets him up for 3 and 4.
Schrader going for $83,600 if he wins that Unocal bonus. Here's Kyle Petty back out, putting on a good show in the latter moments of this event. But remember, he was in for a considerable period of time. He's way back in the field.
Boy, I tell you, Bodine pulled out. Brett Bodine pulled up under Earnhardt coming off turn 4. Got all the way up beside him, and Earnhardt got a good run off that corner. I thought Bodine was coming by.
Brett Bodine continues to fight for a lot of these top leaders. Here comes Earnhardt. There's Brett Bodine right behind him. Earnhardt sailed down to the bottom. Now he gives it a shot, and he's back into first place.
Got up under him coming off of that second turn right there. I mean, first turn up on that bank and come down the short chute, was able to make the pass.
So it's Earnhardt back in front, looking for that 5th win of the season. Wallace in second, Brett Bodine in third, giving it everything he's got as he tried for his first super speedway victory. Meanwhile, here's Mark Martin tucked in behind Jeff Bodine in the 15, fighting his way out of the back of the field in the late going, but he is in that lead lap and trying to close it down.
He's trying his best to get around Bodine. He made up that lap by working hard all day long, but now that the track positioning, which we've said over and over, the track positioning means so much, and he's hung back in the rear.
13th position. Trying to get himself unscrambled here. Here you see Jeff Bodine just in front of him. Let's go back up for that battle in front. There you see Schrader. Underneath, Brett Bodine.
That's the pole setter. That was the man with the fastest car at the track. He just got a bone up, but he slipped. How many times during the day we see a guy pass at the tunnel and he slipped a little bit? Here comes Bill Elliott on the inside. They're going to be 3 wide going in that little flat corner. Oh, they're going to try it in there this time too.
Look at that. Morgan Shepherd to the bottom. And move Morgan Shepherd up a couple of spots on your program.
You will not see that done very many times if you come to this track year after year. It's hard to get 3 cars in there and bring 3 out. Usually you got a wreck.
Ricky Rudd closes fast. Gets Brett Bodine. Comes after Sterling Marlin. The 21 car, Morgan Shepherd, up to 4th. Schrader falls to 5th. In front, it's still Earnhardt, followed by Rusty Wallace. And there you see the rest of the contention. Down the back straightaway. 184 complete. Working lap 185.
There's Rusty. Even though Earnhardt got around him, ran him down, got around him, Rusty is not giving him much ground. Rusty's hanging in there with him. Still got a shot at him.
$800,000 in the coffers to be divided. The lion's share looks like it'll either go to the 3 or the 2 car, but it's a long way from over. Not that long, however. 185 this time by complete. 15 to go. Next time by, they've got 184. They put it up a little prematurely on the board. Whether too quickly, beg your pardon. That means that I'll take it back. Now they're changing as they get themselves all the way into turn number 1. There are 15 laps from here to the end, with Earnhardt in first, Wallace in second. The 18 car of Dale Jarrett back in 19th position.
No, he's in 9th place, kid.
My correction, I mean in 9th position.
He's really been coming too. We were just talking about that.
There he is.
He's coming across the tunnel. He ran down Rudd just a minute ago. Right up on him. Lost a little bit of ground to Rudd. He had to back out of the throttle.
Horton has spun. The active trucking car is down on the inside. No caution as yet. Field coming down the main straightaway. They're underneath the flag stand, and no caution flag put out. Jimmy Horton off the track with car number 32. Earnhardt first, Wallace second. Take a look at what happened here to Jimmy Horton, New Jersey native. Dick Trickle right behind him.
There's Trickle coming up off the corner. Caution is coming out. Got
Yellow's going to come out. Dick Trickle trying to get by. Kenny Wallace almost getting caught there.
You know, I told you just a while ago I wouldn't want to be a crew chief. Now, how would you like to be a crew chief? Do you stay out? Do you come in? The guys in the back there, can risk it, come in for tires and stuff. But boy, I'd hate to be making the decision for these leaders.
186 laps are now complete, 14 to go. If you're out back among those 15 cars in the lead lap, if you want to come in for some rubber, they're back to the line. As they come across the stripe, it is Earnhardt first, Wallace second, Elliott, Shepard, Schrader, Bodine streaking to the stripe.
The guys that are in the back, they have an easier choice. They can put the tires on and hope it helps them. The leader's the one that had the tough decision to make, where they give that position up, as we talk day in and day out.
So they're going to move the Horton car off. It spun the number 32 down to the inside. You saw it getting in contact with the Dick Trickle car and almost collecting the Kenny Wallace car as well. Under caution, laps running out.
I can't help but think, we're just talking about 13 laps to go. I can't help but think these guys will have to stay out there and race it out. You might see some of the guys in the back coming in, but those front guys just can't give up that position.
16 cars in the lead lap. Some decisions to be made right now by these people that will be all important. I don't think there's too many decisions on the 2 and the 3. Some others, we'll have to wait and see. We'll take a quick commercial break and come right back to give you the full race right to the finish without interruption. Stay with us here on TBS, Miller Genuine Draft 500 from Pocono.
Tonight.
I want her out of here. Today.
Perry Mason, primetime movie mysteries on TBS. A ruthless newsman becomes headline news in the obituaries, and Perry's hustling to get the scoop.
Stay away from me, Mr. Mason.
You are way out of line, mister. And you can't prove any of this.
Afraid I can.
Watch Perry Mason, primetime movie mysteries. 7 Eastern tonight on TBS.
What I've heard is beneath contempt.
Miller Genuine Draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
It has a theft deterrent system to help protect you from bad guys. A bumper-to-bumper warranty to protect you for 3 years or 36,000 miles. And Scotch Guard on the seats and carpet to protect you from cheeseburgers. The new Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
This is hydroplaning in less than an inch of water, and they're not being pulled by a boat, but by Goodyear AquaTread radials. AquaTread's deep groove design channels water away to keep more tire in contact with the road for outstanding wet traction. This is hydroplaning. This is AquaTreading, the all-season AquaTread only from Goodyear. It comes with a 60,000-mile tread life warranty. Goodyear AquaTread. Try a set. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
189 laps of 200 will have been completed when they come down and take green to get this going. And after all that guessing, all that conjecture, guess who pitted? Nobody.
Yes, one car pitted just to bail me out.
A lap down.
Well,
Wally Dallenbach Jr. was a lap down.
That's why I was always the driver and not the coach.
Okay, we're getting set on a restart. How about it? Why are you going to come back next week and take a crack at it, Neil?
Just have some fun. That's the main thing I want to do is enjoy myself and see how I'm doing. And I'll tell you how we're fixing to feel here. We're fixing to get excited. These guys are going to put on a show for the end.
All right, here comes Earnhardt bringing the field down. That pace vehicle coming in. Rusty Wallace in second. 3-time winner of this event, Bill Elliott in third. Morgan Shepherd right there in fourth. They have the green. We're racing at Pocono, the final moments.
This is what these engine builders and everybody dread, slowing them down and having to wind them up, go through these gears, these restarts. They'd like to finish, but looks like we got a good clean start.
Away through turn 1. Short shoot up to turn 2. Wallace looking for anything. They stack them. You see the Mannheim car, Phil Parsons down on the inside, a lap car just behind him. Battle for third right here. Morgan Shepherd underneath Bill Elliott for third spot. Has it for the moment.
Yep. But can Elliott cut back? We've seen
Yeah,
it
you
all
watch
day.
Elliott right here.
Let me tell you, when you make that move out there, you open that inside lane up, you pass them, and you lose it right back. It's hard to take that position and maintain it.
So it's Elliott back to third. Morgan Shepherd falling again to fourth.
You think I should put a no passing sign over there, Ken, to save everybody the trouble?
You need to save it for next week at Talladega. You may want to hang it out the back of the car. Your buddy Earnhardt stays first. Wallace stays in second. And look at this skirmish. Down to the inside. Mark Martin really making some room now. Bobby Labonte in the middle. Jeff Bodine on the outside. Mark Martin screams down into that corner. He gets Bodine. He closes up on Harry Gant. What a run Mark Martin is making late in this race as he tries his best to get back up among the leaders.
The rule of thumb has always been getting single file. I guess the rule of thumb went out the window. These guys are racing 2 and 3 abreast, even through these short corners.
Not many rules here.
There's Mark Martin out there on the outside, trying around Waltrip on the outside. Gant leaning on the other car in front of him.
Down they come with Waltrip there for just a moment. Can he stay there? Holds onto it. Cranks it down to the bottom of the racetrack.
9 laps to go. So just crossed. There's Bill Elliott sitting in third place. We saw Morgan Shepherd pass him, and Elliott was able to run back there. Boy, look at these cars all the way on the inside here.
Yeah, the guy that gives you a great show, and that's Bobby Hamilton out there today. Not much of a call on Bobby, but what a race he has put on. That Nashville, Tennessee campaigner, Bobby Hamilton, being shown in 20th from the Heilig-Myers car, number 90. We're riding with Bobby Hillin here in the final moments. We're at lap 192 when they come by this moment. This time around, Bobby Hillin is back in 19th, a lap off the leaders. Let's go back to those leaders. And Earnhardt for the moment draws away. Has himself 4 or 5 car length advantage over Rusty Wallace in second. Look at this battle further back. Here's Schrader coming after number 26, Brett Bodine. That for 5th position. Schrader to the inside.
And everybody else to the inside. One guy moves, they all move. Made that move even though he couldn't pass him. He made him think he was going to make that move. Got to set him up and try to work on the guy. Don't just sit there and follow him lap after lap. He's trying to get him thinking where he's going.
Sterling Marlin in 7th position with car 8 just behind Schrader. Sterling Marlin in 7th, the blue car. Ricky Rudd is in 8th. Dale Jarrett up to 9th. Michael Waltrip in 10th. Back in 14th is Mark Martin.
There you see Rudd trying to come up. Rudd's car going well all day. There's Jarrett right behind Rudd. The orange car of Rudd. Jarrett directly behind him. Here's Schrader closing in on Brett Bodine some.
Look at Dale Jarrett down to the inside on Ricky Rudd. Dale Jarrett maneuvering through cars. Looks like Gant comes all the way to the bottom in the 33, and it's Gant there. Bill Parsons on the outside, a lap car, trying to stack him 3 wide. There goes Ricky Rudd up through.
Boy, that was a headsy move on Jarrett. He saw that they were going to pinch him down 3 wide. He rolled out of the throttle. He's got a lot. He's right there in that points battle. He didn't need to make contact there. Good move.
Look at Waltrip. Waltrip and Waltrip. Michael in the middle. Darrell on the bottom.
Says, "Roll, bro, I'm coming through." And he did. He cleared him right there. And made it stick, which is something good to do right there. He was able to get by him and hold him off through that section of the track.
Dale Jarrett is up to 8th. See Ricky Rudd in 9th. Darrell Waltrip taking 10th. Michael Waltrip in 11th. Meanwhile, back in front, Earnhardt is there. Rusty Wallace going for 2 in a row after that great victory a week ago in New Hampshire. Stays in second, and here you see Elliott running third. Shepherd is 4th.
Shepherd has ran a tremendous race. They've worked all day long. Morgan really working with the Wood brothers on that car. They've got that thing running better every week.
Can Rusty Wallace show anything more here?
You can never tell about Rusty Wallace. That car right now might be running as fast as it possibly will go. But can Rusty Wallace, is one of the type drivers, can set up on the edge of that seat and get that little bit out there that you didn't even know was there.
Rusty Wallace, who won that rain-shortened race here in 1988. with the help of Earnhardt. Remember, it was Earnhardt who earlier had wrecked, who pushed Wallace for a couple of laps under caution to save him some fuel. Jimmy Maycar resigned later that day. 5 laps to go this time by. Well, it was Wallace that won, thanks to Earnhardt in '88. Back in '87, it was Dale Earnhardt victorious, and he's trying to go for his second one here right now in this July Miller Genuine Draft 500. He has the field covered by 10 car lengths.
Yeah, but that's not much. We've seen before, I don't think they're going to have to contend with lap traffic anywhere, but you've got to get these corners perfect every lap. If you miss a little bit, have to crack the throttle, the guy will be all over you again. So Earnhardt's got to put down some good laps.
Elliott clear in 3rd. Shepard clear in 4th. Brett Bodine, he's still got a battle going, and a hard one. There's Brett Bodine working his way around some lap cars, and he's having to worry about Schrader. That's Dallenbach up on the outside, getting lapped. Here comes Schrader, just trying to nose his way through.
That little deal there, just having to pinch your car down under one of the lap cars slows you down just a little bit. You don't want to give up anything right now this late in the race.
Wide open at over 190 miles per hour. It has been a great race all day. Everybody seems to have given it a little extra effort here at Pocono, Pennsylvania this afternoon. And Earnhardt, the Grandmaster these days, seeking that 6th championship. Only Richard Petty has one more at 7. For the moment, has this race in hand. Here's Rusty Wallace trying to close again, and you can be sure he's thinking of every possible thing he can do to get back in there and give it one more shot.
Ken, I can't help but think it's that here. We say he's got this race in hand. You look up in that mirror, and all you see is that little black tube coming. It's in hand when he dropped that checkered flag. I guarantee you, Earnhardt's sweating right now, and Rusty is digging all that little black tube goes.
Earnhardt looking for win number 58. Wallace for win number 27. Richard Childress just looking on, praying that 3 car can get there. Don Miller, his team, Buddy Parrott doing the same for the 2 car. Final moments. We're down to it. 3 to go. I would imagine for a guy like you that's won here back in 1980, for Earnhardt and those, you hear all those stories about hearing everything rattle and bounce around. I mean, this is strictly business at this point. All you're doing is focusing on your job just to get this thing home.
Let me tell you, what you got to concentrate on is hit right here. Get that tunnel right. Get those left side wheels over. Flirt with that wall. Get the fast lap out of it. Drive it down in 3. Get it up. There's too many things going on to be listening to stuff rattle right now.
Elliott lies 3rd, Shepard 4th, Brett Bodine 5th, Kenny Schrader 6th. Change further back in the field. Dale Jarrett's just moved around. Harry Ganton taken 8th. There's Dale Jarrett clambering up to the field. This has been one of the, sometimes 2 to go. Your best race, your best performance is not the one you win. Haven't you had that happen, Neil?
Yes, sir. I've worked harder in some races. I've run 5th and 6th in than the ones that you win.
And you feel good about it at night.
Yeah, the effort that you put into it. And I tell you what's tough is to run a race like you're watching right here and run 12 and say, man, I ran as hard as I've ever ran in my life. But that's the way Winston Cup racing is right now.
Dale Jarrett can feel great about this race and his job in it. He has driven masterfully. Earnhardt stays up in front. Wallace in 2nd with 2 to go. There they are. What a show by Earnhardt. Got all beat up last week. 38th, 34th position, way out of it. Lost a lot of points. Going to get a few back today. Not that many, but a few on Dale Jarrett and that Winston Cup point battle as it moves on to Talladega, Alabama. Back with you in September. We'll be at Richmond, Virginia on a Saturday night. 1 to go here. And Richmond always gives you a great race. And of course, then in October is Charlotte, North Carolina. Certainly one of our favorites. One of yours, although it's treated you pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah, but man, there's been good days there too. That's what you think about.
Earnhardt can pick up about 50 points based on today's race if it just holds together on this last 2.5 mile trip around the Pocono International Raceway. Rusty Wallace scooping a little air here at the end of this one.
He knows he's running as hard as he can. You see that little black car he set out in front of him. I guarantee you, Rusty can go home and say, I ran as hard as I can. It's not over, but we just got 2 more turns to make.
He can feel good about today. Morgan Shepherd and Bill Elliott can feel great about today. The crowd rising to their feet, not just for Earnhardt, but for all of these Winston Cup drivers for this outstanding event they have given at Pocono, Pennsylvania, after they have lost one of their own one that they all admired, loved, and cared about. Dale Earnhardt has won. Rusty Wallace comes home second. Bill Elliott third in the most competitive automobile racing in the world. Earnhardt leads. Winston Cup standings will be the headline in Winston Cup scene this week by 223 over Jarrett. Wallace to third, 270 points behind. A little congratulations from Rusty Wallace to Dale Earnhardt for a race well run this Sunday in Pocono, Pennsylvania.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Avalon Formula 3 Motor Oil with not one but 3 kinds of protection. Add more life to your car. By Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug. And by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Seldom are we graced by someone who fills our lives with joy, excitement, compassion, and friendship. We, the friends and fans of Davey Allison, were honored to be associated with one of the most competitive and successful drivers in the history of motorsports, and one of the finest young men we have ever known. Thanks, Davey, for gracing our lives with yours.
For Hank Williams, life was full of hard living, hard loving, and honky-tonkin' good times. George Hamilton and the true story of a country music legend, Your Cheatin' Heart. 10:35 Eastern, Monday night on PBS.
It is a Kowicki lap that's being turned by Dale Earnhardt live here at Pocono right now. And there you see the battle flag of another car. As the race came to conclusion, we saw Rusty Wallace carry a 28 flag down here for a moment, and he threw it over. It was a smaller flag than this, and he went back to the garage area. And one of the mechanics, Smith, from car number 3, leading this team in prayer to the memory of a fallen comrade. And then, moments ago, they sent Dale Earnhardt on his way, on his victory lap today, in memory of Davey Allison. These pictures are coming to you live from Pocono International Raceway, where Dale Earnhardt has just recorded his 5th Winston Cup win of the season, and he's not forgetting anyone. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Ken, what a wonderful fitting end to one of the great races of this season, and certainly the entire afternoon a tribute to Davey Allison. If you at home would like to remember the Allison family in whatever fashion, if you would like to send a contribution, send a card, whatever, here are some addresses you might want to take down. A fund's been established for Davey's 2 young children, and here's where you can send your thanks to them at the National Bank of Commerce in Hueytown, 35023, and be sure and address the envelope to the children of Davey Allison. Now, Bobby and Judy Allison have also mentioned that you could send a contribution to the National Head Injury Foundation, and they're at 1776 Mass Ave in Washington, 20036-1904. So if you'd like to participate in the memorials to Davey Allison, there's a way to do that. We'll never forget Davey Allison, certainly, here at Pocono International Raceway or anywhere we might go. At the top of our broadcast today, we showed you a tribute to the life and times of Davey Allison. We want to thank all those folks who in the past few days have contributed in material, videotape, film, and so forth of Davey's life and times, and we really appreciate your help in helping us put that together and put it on this afternoon here on TBS.
And if you were interested in sending a personal message to the Allisons, it's box 28, Hueytown, Alabama, 35023. Bobby Allison said, we want to thank the media, fans, the racing fraternity, and friends worldwide for their condolences, their prayers, and their good wishes. And this crowd, I don't see anyone leaving. All standing, all waving, some in prayer, as car number 3 remembers car number 28 and is shortly to come back down this main straightaway and head into victory lane. We'll be down there to greet the winner today, Dale Earnhardt. Let's go to Rick Benjamin quickly.
Ken, as we watch Dale Earnhardt move back down the main straightaway, let's update you on the True Value Hard Charger Award. Dale Earnhardt pockets $5,000, leading the most laps by far with 1,790 points over Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett.
Into the main straightaway with a Kowicki lap. Look at this crowd. This race is over.
Nobody's left.
Makes the turn. Now heads the right direction down pit road. A joyous victory lane. Heartfelt by everyone here. The winner of the Miller 500 today, ladies and gentlemen, Dale Earnhardt. And let's make ready to greet the champion today in this 500-mile test. Just about ready to get him out of that race car.
Ken, I don't know if I've ever seen a racetrack like this when no one ever leaves. Everybody usually makes a run to the cars, but they're staying for this. What a tribute to Davey.
Well, let's see if we can get down into the victory lane area there and get a word with our champion this afternoon, Dale Earnhardt, after this great performance in defeating Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott. Dale Earnhardt taking an extra moment before he clambers out of that Richard Childress car.
Almost total silence at the racetrack now.
Yes.
Randy Pembroke.
Dale Earnhardt, a fantastic win for you. An Alan Kowicki lap, a tribute to Davey Allison with the flag. Just a great day for you in a tough time.
Well, you know, all of us is in the memory of Davey. Was racing today. I'd run second to him in a minute if it'd bring him back. I mean, I'd do anything to bring him back. We're going to miss him a lot, miss Alan a lot, but we're going to miss Davey too. I just pray for Bobby and Judy and all the Allisons and Leah's and the kids. You know, hope she, you know, she got 2 kids to raise, and hopefully she'll raise them in Bobby and Davey's eyes. And you know, we're praying for her and pulling for her to get through this. And you know, old car run good today. It's a tough race. Old Rusty got strong there at the end.
A lot of guys gave you a shot. You had some challenges early on. Rusty tried you. They loosened that thing up, but evidently not enough for you.
Well, we loosened it up, and we tightened it back up, and you know, it got a little better. So you know, we just did all we could do. Where's my sugar?
Taylor Nicole steps in. Dale Earnhardt's daughter, Teresa, standing by. Go ahead and step in here, Teresa. Hugging a kiss. Dale, I'll tell you, it was a fantastic run for you all day long. It wasn't in the bag, though, until late. A lot of guys gave you a shot early.
Well, that's true. Jarrett was real strong, and you know, Mark, he was strong. He just lost the lap for some reason, and then Kyle, he was strong. Something broke, and I don't know. We look at this old good wrench. She hung together. We had an alternator problem, and had to run without all the fans and stuff, and it did real good though. And I thought Rusty had something for me there at the end. We was running real hard, and I was giving it all I had.
Can you put in perspective what this means to you to come to victory lane on a day like this?
Well, to rebound back from last week is a big part of it, but with everybody, with Davey in everybody's hearts and everybody's mind, and Rusty, he had a flag in his car since the race over, he pops it out, and I'm just sorry we didn't think of that, but we came down to the start-finish line and said a prayer. Dave Smith with the crew said a prayer for him and for the Allison family, and we ran a lap in tribute of Davey and Alan. So, you know, hopefully the family can get over it and we can go on from here.
Congratulations on an entire effort for your entire team. Great job, Dale.
Moments ago, Dick Berggren interviewed second-place competitor today, Rusty Wallace.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Well, Rusty Wallace is pulled in behind the gas pumps here. Almost good enough. What did you need to beat Earnhardt?
Man, I don't know. Just my car was just a little bit too tight. I pulled a little bit too high gear. I needed to spin a little more RPM out of the engine. But the engine was really good. Car handled good. Right there at the end, I mean, Dale has held 4 car lengths on me. I couldn't do nothing. He couldn't pull away, and I couldn't pull away on him. And so it was just like a pair of evenly matched cars there at the end.
The press has given your crew so much credit. Is it really the crew that's done this, or is it more than just the crew?
I think it's a total combination. You know, I mean, they'll be the first to tell you
they've got
that you got to have a good engine combination under the hood. You got to have a good driver in the car, and you got to have a good pit stop. You know, the car handled good today. I thought I drove it as hard as I could drive it, and they did their job too.
How worried should Earnhardt be about his championship this year?
Well, I'm in his mirror. You know, I'm in his mirror all the time, and we gained some points in 18 car finally. But hey, he's a good driver, good team, and we'll just have to race right down to the end.
And they're 5 wins apiece, Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt winning, Wallace second, Elliott third, Shepard fourth, Brett Bodine fifth, Schrader, Marlin, Jarrett, Gant, and Waltrip round out the top 10. In lieu of credits, we thought we would share with you some reminiscence of Davey Allison. Join with us in the NASCAR family in remembering.
Out at Riverside, I guess Davey was maybe 14, 15 years old, and I was driving for Junior, and we had a really fast road race car, and it had Bobby tore all to pieces because he and I always had a real thing about who was going to win Riverside, you know, and so he had Davey come down to our car, and Davey had a little old magnet taped in the center of his hand, and somebody had told Bobby we had aluminum quarter panels on the race car, and so Davey, he was walking around, he had his rubber kind of sliding along beside the car, and Junior spied him, and Junior said, "What's that little so-and-so doing anyway?" And he ran over and he grabbed Davey's arm, and he turned that hand around, and he had that magnet taped in the center of his hand. And I'm telling you right now, poor old Davey, it wasn't all that big anyway. He shrunk down to nothing. And Junior hauled him into the NASCAR office, and Gasaway said, "Boy, which car are you signed in on?" And Davey said, "Well, I'm not really signed in on a car." "Well, how'd you get in this garage area?" "Well, I came with my daddy." "Well, if you want to keep coming with your daddy, you better stay down there beside him." And Davey, he always laughed about that. We was always kidding each other about that magnet trick.
To get in a car and be capable of winning Talladega the first time you ever got in a car, I think speaks very, very highly of his talent.
I liked how he raced. He seemed to be a nice guy. I never met him, but I think I'd like him.
I tell you, the most fun I had with Davey is fishing, and he is competitive bass fishing. We've hooked several big fish together in the same boat. We fished a few times together. Matter of fact, the one I can remember most of the time, Neil Bonnet and I, and he went on a lake fishing together, and I'd catch one, Dave would catch one, Neil would catch one, and was all arguing about whose was the biggest and all that stuff. And that was a fun day. I think that was a more relaxed Davey Allison, away from racing pressure and everything, and we had more fun that day, I think, than any other time we've been together.
Generals. Two of my favorites were Jeb Stewart and Nathan Bedford Forrest. These were guys that lived on the edge, that loved the exhilaration of a cavalry charge. That's the kind of guy Davey Allison was. He lived on the edge his entire life. He loved race cars, he loved airplanes, he loved helicopters.
But I remember Davey when he was just a
His dad had an American Motors deal. They raced Matadors out of their own shop, and Davey was probably 15, 16 years old. He had a little old Gremlin, big tires and loud muffler and all that stuff, and he just worked his guts out on his dad's race car. He's just like his dad, had all that grit and determination, and it was an uphill battle at that point. So as you watched me, you said, that kid's going to race.
Last time I was here at the Poconos, he stood out there with his little baby boy by his car, you know, signing autographs and everything.
But unfortunately, I guess the last thing I'll remember him by was when I won New Hampshire a couple weeks ago, and I slowed down for the victory lap, and he pulled up alongside me and raised the advisor up and gave me that big high five, like, job well done, and I never thought that'd be the last time I'd see him.
He would always find a time every week to sneak up on me and goose me, and it scared me, but it sure make him laugh. And I remember that, and I missed that this week.
Probably the biggest thing I remember is at Atlanta when Davey's running for the championship. I didn't have a shot at the championship, and I cut a tire down and ended up spinning and hitting him and tangled him up, and he lost the championship because of that. And I was knocked out for about 45 minutes, and Davey wouldn't leave the infield care center until he found out I was all right.
Just watching him on TV every week, we got to be interested in him. He was a real fighter, and he really impressed us. He was like a family member to us, and we never even met the man.
You know, he and I both started racing about the same time, and you know, we'd go racing Friday nights at Birmingham and Saturday nights at Montgomery, and you know, Sundays at wherever. And
most of the memory for his courtesy is his driver, an outstanding driver, and also that he's still #1 in everybody's hearts.
the smile that Davey always seemed to have on his face, the time that he had for people, especially kids. It's countless times that I saw him, the kids around, and he acted like they were his own, whether they were or not. And I think that's the unfortunate thing about this whole thing, and his two children that are going to miss a great dad, because he was fantastic. But he always had a joke and a smile on his face, and that's the way I'm going to remember Davey Allison. I hope you will too.
It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
It's a silver time, it's a silver place, it's a silver setting, at a silver pace. Swinging stars, our very best friends, so silverful and smooth, they never ever end. In a silver time, good light, in a silver place, so right here now, silver memory.
Over 1 million people each week walk into AutoZone, and taking care of them means having what they need when they need it. That means stocking a lot of parts for a lot of cars. Now, nobody can stock everything, but we stock more than most. And how do we know which ones to carry? That's easy. We listen to our customers, because nobody knows better about what you want than you. So the next time you walk through that door, you might think of yourself as a customer, but we think of you as the boss.
He doesn't like power breakfast. He'll take a pass on poetry. Deep down, he's a grown-up Boy Scout. Way grown. He likes feeling clean and cool and very male. And he knows how to get there. Where have you guys been? Brute. Men are back.
magnificent seed, a cornucopia of riches whose future is threatened by survival and greed. A powerful new Jacques Cousteau's rediscovery of the world, The Mirage of the Sea. 10 Eastern tonight, exclusively on TBS.
Especially when you lose a person like Davey Allison. Davey was a special gift to the world of motorsports. When you met him, you didn't just become a fan of his, you became his friend. Davey would understand the loss that his friends are feeling right now. He has suffered through those same feelings too many times with his own family. He would tell you, however, to reflect not on the hurt and anger that you feel right now, but on the good times that you were able to share together. Most importantly, Davey would tell you to thank God for allowing those people to touch your life, if even for a brief moment.
The team searches for a replacement for the late Davey Allison. The Californian put the Haviland Ford in the field the first day in 14th position. Despite a heavy heart for his deceased friend, Neil Bonnet couldn't hide a smile a mile wide as he made his first Winston Cup race since a serious accident at Talladega in the late 1980s. No question he has good gear for today. It's a Richard Childress Chevy that Bonnet has tested on several occasions. The TNN commentator shook off the rust nicely, qualifying 20th, and will provide in-car commentary for CBS during the race. It's been a long time since fellow announcer Buddy Baker has had a pedal all the way to the floor. Rick Hendrick rewarded Baker for serving as a standby driver last year with a ride of his own. But Buddy had problems and missed the show. Melling Racing has added Harry Hyde to the payroll. The longtime crew chief, who has 56 wins on his resume, will help tutor P.J. Jones, who has been behind the seat of the Melling Ford in the team's limited schedule this year. And finally, Terry Labonte will substitute for Davey Allison in the final IROC race. His points will be added to Allison's, and that share of the IROC purse will be paid to a trust fund set up for Allison's children. This is Mark Allen reporting for Race Day.
Thanks, Mark. One other note out of Talladega on Jimmy Spencer. Despite rumors that he might be going elsewhere, the Meineke Muffler driver is staying put with Bobby Allison Racing next season. Now, here's how they'll season so far in the Budweiser Ford. Next to him, it's Ernie Irvin, who has a pair of Winston Cup wins here at Talladega. On row 2, it'll be Brett Bodine with another strong qualifying effort.
The news and the highlights of the race.
Then it was definitely difficult on the entire Winston Cup fraternity as we converged on the Pocono International Raceway for the running of the Miller Genuine Draft 500. as our thoughts continue to be with the Allison family. But there was work to be done, and it started on Friday during qualifying. For Bill Elliott, his best qualifying run of the 1993 season. He put his Budweiser Ford on the outside of row 1. For Kenny Schrader, he was able to temporarily put his emotions aside like all of the other drivers here during qualifying and this race weekend. Kenny set a new track record in his Kodiak Chevrolet and sat on the pole position.
Davey went through this deal with us with Alan, and he did like the rest of us. He climbed in the car and went racing. That's our job. That's what we do, and it's just he's there, and you think about it a lot.
In an announcement made on Tuesday, 24-year-old IndyCar sensation Robbie Gordon was tabbed to drive the Texaco Havoline Ford in the Die Hard 500 at Talladega. Gordon could run as many as 8 races for the Robert Yates Racing Team in the remaining 1993 Winston Cup schedule.
Today's Winston Cup highlights are brought to you by Texaco Havoline Formula 3. Add more life to your car.
From his 4th pole position of the 1993 campaign, Kenny led the Pocono field of 40 into the first Winston Cup event void of the Allison name since Bristol 1975. When Schrader's Chevy would show out front for a mere 5 laps before Ernie Irvin shoved his Kodak machine into the lead for the first of his only 7-lap sled on the afternoon. The first of 8 cautions came out on lap 13 after Clay Young spun coming out of the tunnel turn. During the caution, it was pit stops for some and problems for Mark Martin. Considered a contender until carburetor problems, Mark would eventually lose a lap as the team attempted to eliminate the trouble. He struggled for a good finish the rest of the day. Dale Earnhardt cruised out front after the yellow. The Winston Cup points leader held the lead until after first round of green flag pit stops. Kyle Petty then put his Pontiac at the point. Kyle in his mellow yellow machine was looking to make it 2 Poconos in a row. And he showed to be a solid contender through the first half. 2 more yellows slowed the Pocono pace in the first half. Kerry Teague and John Krebs wrecked on lap 97. Then Bobby Hillen had his hands full with a full 360, bringing out caution number 4. Dale Jarrett, after starting 23rd, drove by Kyle and Earnhardt on lap 104. Jarrett led Petty and Earnhardt in a spirited battle up front before the next round of green flag pit stops took place. That's when Petty pulled off a pit road too hard. Kyle's clutch couldn't take it, and he took it to the garage. He would return to finish 27th. Jarrett, along with Earnhardt, continued to be the strongest contenders as the race headed into the home stretch. Jarrett led 47 laps on the afternoon, but failed to lead again after caution flag pit stops on lap 156. 3 more yellows came before the conclusion. Jeff Bodine brought out caution number 6 when he spun coming off of turn 3, nearly taking Harry Gant with him. And after a brief run at the front by Brett Bodine and Rusty Wallace, the final yellow set the stage for an 11-lap duel to the checkers. The duel came down to Dale and Rusty. Rusty raced him hard but was unable to overhaul the 5-time champion. Dale, who led a total of 70 laps, held off Rusty over the final laps to pick up his 5th win of the 1993 season. The victory ended in prayer and a tribute to 2 of Dale's fallen friends, Alan Kawicki and Davey Allison. For Dale Earnhardt, it was the most emotional win of his career.
Had prayer with the team for the Allisons there on the start-finish line and took a flag around at half-mast and took a lap in memory of Davey and Alan, but mostly Davey. And we're praying for his family, I tell you.
It has been a tough year for NASCAR Winston Cup racing with the loss of first Alan Kawicki and now Davey Allison. But the races must go on, and fans, as you can tell, those drivers will never be forgotten. We need to take a short break. Still to come, we'll take a look at the first ever NASCAR Winston Cup race at the New Hampshire International Speedway. And as we leave you for this break, here's the balance of the finishing order for the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
Just a reminder, a well-maintained car can help you avoid crackups. 4 out of 5 cars need maintenance. Is yours one of them?
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norse ritual is right guard sport stick. An aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right guard sport stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Remember those old dirt tracks, AJ? The dirt would just heat up the engines.
2 champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
My favorite win was going to be in '69. I had to give it to you. You shouldn't have even made a half a lap.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Heck, I still feel if I can't win, I don't want nobody to win. I'll try to remember that, AJ. Do that.
Winn-Dixie and Nature present Harvest Fresh Produce. Nature makes the produce. Winn-Dixie makes the difference.
This week on Race Day, we'll recap the Die Hard 500 from Talladega and with other Winston Cup news. And the NHRA is back in business in the Mile High City in Denver. This is Pat Patterson inviting you to join us right here Sunday for the fastest half hour in motorsports on Race Day.
Race Day, 2 different editions, 11:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern, TNN Motorsports Sundays.
We had a couple of stories that we were going to air for you this past weekend, so we saved them for you for this show. When a new speedway is opened, it's usually the dream of one individual. In the case of the New Hampshire International Speedway, it was Bob Baer and his son Gary. They wanted one of the finest facilities in the country to bring big-time auto racing to the northeastern part of the country. And they did it, and their dream came true with the running of the Slick 5300.
The New Hampshire International Speedway is the most recent track in the United States to receive a NASCAR Winston Cup race. The facility was built just a few years ago by Bob Baer and his son Gary. The Baer family is long-standing in the racing community. They're most noted as the proprietors and promoters of the Oxford Plains Speedway in Maine. But it's here in Loudon, New Hampshire, that Baer, a self-made multi-millionaire, decided to build the 1-mile track, with the hopes of one day seeing Winston Cup drivers wheel their stock cars in front of the craving racing fans of New England. There were no guarantees when this track was built, but Baer believed that if he built it, they would come.
Well, we figured if we built it, we at least had a chance of getting a date. If we didn't get a date, you know, it certainly would have hurt, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. We were lucky we had a few other things going, so I mean, it wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't have been the end of it, but sure it wouldn't have helped.
And Baer received no help either. A real estate developer, he dumped a reported $25 million into his dream. Not a dime came from state or local government.
When we decided to do it, we knew that we were going to have to carry ourselves, and we didn't expect anybody to, to support us or to pay our way. We knew we were going to have to do that all by ourselves. We wanted to do it bad enough. It meant that much to us, and it was worth doing. I mean, frankly, he wouldn't ask for that. I don't think he'd really be in favor of getting the state to pick up the tab to build something like this, or the taxpayers, or anybody. I mean, it was his gamble, and if he won, he was going to be the winner, and if he lost, he was going to be the loser.
After receiving their Winston Cup date, it took only hours to totally sell out every seat available for the Slick 5300. A credit to the sport, the fans, and the Bears.
Bob's been around motorsports, all his life. He had midgets and has always liked automobile racing. So he's just he's a pretty cagey, street smart guy,
and was able to latch on to this facility and then make the improvements that he did here. And we're here. He's got an Indianapolis car race, so he's brought the premier motorsports events to New England.
Within a couple hours' drive of both Boston and New York City, the 70,000 plus fans that found their way to a weekend of modified Busch Grand National North and Winston Cup racing left behind a healthy shot in the arm to both the state and local economy.
We've had some very, very fine races, but we really thought that Winston Cup was a dream for New Hampshire. We never believed that people all over the country would be saying, gee, what's happening today in Loudon, New Hampshire? It's very exciting for us, and the Bear family has done a wonderful job on this track. All of the drivers tell me it's one of the finest tracks they've ever driven on anywhere in the world, and that's going to bring them back, and I think we'll bring even more fans back next year.
So what does Winston Cup racing mean in dollar figures for New Hampshire?
Well, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you in a conservative state like New Hampshire, but about $70 million it's going to mean for us, so that's a great boost.
But it's the local community and its economy that is the biggest benefactor. Restaurants, gas stations, and hotels recorded record sales over the weekend. The Winston Cup racers were welcomed to Loudon with open arms, and the drivers returned those same sentiments. As with each event, the Winston Cup Series continues to rise in prominence, and it's the fans that make it all happen.
I think you're going to see by the number of people that turn out for this race that they appreciate us being here. It's kind of nice going to places where you're wanted, appreciated. Not that we don't. I mean, everywhere we go, it's that way. There's a lot of them that we don't go to that people would love to see us at. So it's just exciting for me after being in the business for 20 years to go somewhere new and different.
The Loudon Speedway is a first-class facility where the New England fans enjoyed being able to purchase some of their favorite souvenirs and see their drivers up close, some for the very first time. But you can bet it won't be the last.
In talking with some of the drivers here this past weekend at the Pocono International Raceway, they all had high praises for the New Hampshire International Speedway and look forward to going back next year, and we do too. We need to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have a midterm report card on some of the top drivers in Winston Cup racing, so you stay with us.
Rated it after Michigan, I have to say we're probably up to about a B now.
We're far from an A, but we're getting closer.
For the driver, I'll probably give the driver maybe a D, and I give the team an A+.
Genuine Drafts 1992 IndyCar champion Bobby Rahal. When we said he was flying, we weren't lying.
I was right behind him when he started to spin. I know the feeling, know where to go, right?
Two champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland, Formula 3.
Very unpleasant on an oval, I think. Some people just can't get it right. Even at Indy? Oh, especially at Indy.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Perhaps I should follow you then. Not a bad idea, Nigel.
The best defense is not to offend. Thus, introducing the new Right Guard Sports Stick. Now with a time-release formula for longer-lasting protection against hostile odor all day. For protection that endures.
The sign of good things to come. TNN Outdoors, this Saturday and Sunday. You're enjoying TNN, the heart of country, and your number one source for country music, entertainment, and information. If you'd like to know more about our programs or guest lineups, call TNN Viewer Services 615-883-7000. For tickets, call Opryland Customer Service, 615-889-6611.
Next week on Inside Winston Cup Racing, we'll have highlights from the Die Hard 500 at the Talladega Superspeedway, the Winston Cup circuit's fastest racetrack. Neil Bonnet's career appeared to be over after this wreck in the Trans-Al 500 at Darlington in 1990. But Bonnet is back in the saddle once again this weekend at Talladega. We'll talk to Neil about his return to Winston Cup racing. We'll also bring you highlights from the Fram Filters 500K. It's the second time that the Busch Grand National cars run on the Talladega Superspeedway. We'll have all that and much more next week on Inside Winston Cup Racing.
We're just past the halfway part of the 1993 NASCAR Winston Cup season. We thought it would be interesting to talk to some of the top drivers in the sport and have them grade themselves on their performance in the first half of the year.
Certainly Dale Earnhardt's season deserved high marks at the halfway point. His victory in the Pepsi 400 was his fourth in a season that also includes 8 top 5 finishes, a combination that has produced a healthy lead in the point race and plenty of cash. One of the most amazing statistics about Earnhardt is that he completed all but 56 laps in the first 15 races. Dale Jarrett is Earnhardt's closest pursuer in the Winston Cup point race, and while his qualifying efforts have left him in the middle of the pack, his consistency has paid off with 10 top 10 finishes.
I think the season has been extremely consistent for us, one where I would like to say we had battled for more victories, but awfully consistent in the top 5.
Rusty's win in New Hampshire was his 5th of the year, but that was race 16 and not factored into our unscientific formula. His season has been punctuated with sensational wins, wild wrecks, and lightning-quick pit stops.
Evaluation of my season's been pretty easy. A lot of ups and a lot of downs, but a lot more ups than downs. And it's been probably one of the best starts or midway points I've had in a long time. As far as the grade, I got to grade it at least a 90 because the effort this team's putting behind it, it deserves at least that.
Morgan Shepherd went to Daytona 5th in points and came out of Florida 4th. His lone 1993 victory came in Atlanta, and while Morgan is 4th in the point race, he's led just 85 laps.
Well, for this season, it's been good to us and it's been bad to us because we started out pretty good here at Daytona, and then we went into a slump where we fell all the way back to 19th in the points. But then we've come back and we've got consistent. So it's been a pretty good season. So I'd have to give us a grade of maybe a B- because we are 5th in points right now.
Ken Schrader is looking for his first win since May of 1991. But after finishing 17th in the point race last year, 1993 has been pretty good for the Kodiak crew.
It's been a whole lot better. We were so bad last year, it was easy to improve, though. It's mid-season. We're 7th. Last year we were 17th. Got a bunch of top 5s, 3 poles. Still haven't won. I think you ought to give the guys a B.
Kyle Petty made the midseason turn 6th in points with just 1 win. The mellow yellow Pontiac hasn't been up front as often as many had expected, but Kyle says don't blame the crew.
The season for us has been up and down. You know, we run good, and then we run bad, and we run good. We won a race, we've run good as of late, and for the driver, I'll probably give the driver maybe a D, and I give the team an A+.
At the halfway mark, Ernie Irvin was 9th in points, despite 6 DNFs. His win came at Talladega. His outlook for the second half is positive.
Well, our season's kind of been an up and down. We do have a win in a couple seconds. I guess if I had to give myself a grade, it would probably be a B, on our way to an A.
Jeff Bodine won at Sears Point, has 7 top 10 finishes, and was 11th in points at halfway. He'll be driving for himself in 1994, but is hoping for a strong finish to this season in the Motorcraft Ford.
My season up till now has been kind of like riding my bobsled, you know, that USA-made bobsled that I'm building for our Olympians, kind of up and down kind of a season. The effort by the team, A+. Overall effort, we're kind of average. We need to get better.
Among the most surprising stories this season is Ricky Rudd in the Tide Chevrolet. He is slowly climbing back toward the top 10, building on that win at Michigan.
Let me just say the season hasn't been that good until we won Michigan. And with the Michigan win, all of a sudden, what seemed to be not such a great season turned out to be a pretty good season. If you rated up before Michigan, I'd say we rated about a D. If you rated it after Michigan, I'd have to say we're probably up to about a B now.
Today's mailbox is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft.
And our question today is from Paul Siebelak from Grand Rapids, Michigan, who writes, why do Winston Cup teams put so many grills on the front of the cars for certain races? Paul, for that answer, we'll go to Bill Davis, who owns the Maxwell House Fords, which rookie driver Bobby Labonte drives.
That's a good question, Paul. Usually what dictates the grill opening is the length of the track. On the shorter track, we need more opening to get more air to the radiator and to the oil cooler to cool both of those. Plus, we have to have brake ducts on the short tracks and on the road courses, which lets air in to cool the brake calipers and the brake rotors. Thanks for writing, Paul.
If you have any race questions, write to us at Inside Winston Cup Racing, Box 240417, Charlotte 28224. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive this embroidered Miller Genuine Draft jacket. You'll also receive a copy of NASCAR Video Magazine's Racing's Toughest Tracks and Turns, one of the latest volumes in the exciting home video series, bringing the NASCAR lifestyle roaring into your living room.
In the Saturday events here at the Pocono International Raceway, it was a pair of Tims visiting victory lane. Tim Bender took the Sportsman race, while Tim Steele came home the victor in the ARCA race. It's been a tough week here at the Pocono International Raceway because of the loss of Davey Allison, but there is one bright spot. Red Farmer, who was in the helicopter crash with Davey, has been released from the hospital and appears to be doing okay. Well, it's time for us to go home. Hope you enjoyed the show. You be sure to be with us here next week when we'll have more on Inside Winston Cup Racing on TNN.
Inside Winston Cup Racing has been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Ground transportation for the Inside Winston Cup Racing crew provided by Mark III Luxury Vans and Trucks, the official vans and trucks of NASCAR. Voting for the Inside Winston Cup Racing crew provided by Simpson Race Products, where innovation never stops. Communications for the crew of Inside Winston Cup Racing provided by Racing Radios, Forest Park, Georgia, the official communications of NASCAR. Promotional consideration and a fee paid for by NASCAR Video Magazine, taking you behind the scenes to tour NASCAR's toughest tracks. Order your first volume of this exciting home video series today.
Race Day, next on TNN.